Hello guys, welcome back. Now in previous sessions we talked about something of formatting tags and style tags. Now as discussed, HTML basically is all about formatting your content, structuring your content. Okay, so within that structuring and formatting of your content, there are various different tags that we need to understand as well, that allows us and helps us to properly organize more contents the way we want them. Basically that's the whole idea of it. So in order to understand that, the next topic we're going to talk about is called quotation and citation elements within our HTML. They are again different ways of organizing our content as compared to paragraph and formatting tags. So how do we use them? Let's just talk more about them. So before we begin, again, if you've been enjoying these videos on HTML, don't forget to subscribe, please. It helps a lot and it will ensure that we keep on making these videos. So please do subscribe, like the videos if you find them useful, and don't forget to comment about how far you are going and what are the topics you are interested to learn. So without further ado, let's begin with talking about these quotation and citation elements. Within HTML, we have the block quote, the Q, the abbreviation, the address, the site, and BDO elements. All of these 6 different tags are basically used for structuring our content in a very specific manner. So let's just begin with the block quote. What is the block quote? Well, the block quote allows us to create a quotation marks. So wherever we need to have a content that is specifically represented in a quotation manner, well, we need to use the quote tag. So how do we use it? If I click on try it yourself, here is the basic code. So first, here's the output. So this is a standard paragraph. Okay, this is a standard paragraph. It starts from the border of the screen and then the paragraph goes. But when we make a content as a block quote, it just gives some indentation and there's a line before or space before it, and then there's some space after it. That's the whole difference between paragraph and a quotation tag. So the way we use it, again, as you understood, we use a block quote, we give it a content whatever we want to do, and we close the block quote tag. However, we use an additional attribute within this code as well. It's called cite. What this basically means that, or what the basic idea behind quotations is, that this is not my thing. I have used this content from some other website, some other reference like Wikipedia or anything. So we need to quote that particular link. So in order to do that, we use the content of block quote and we provide the cite, which basically contains the original information or the reference to the original source. Okay, so this becomes our block quote. So wherever we need to write the content, which is supposed to be indented and little bit highlighted in form of a quotations, we just use a block quote. We can use the same thing in paragraph, give double inverted quotations, give a citations as well. Depends on how you are formatting your content. So don't, it's not that if every content has to be a block quote if it is referred from some other source. It just completely depends up to you. Okay, similarly, then we go inside the Q tag. The Q for short, basically HTML Q for short is quotations. It's a pure quotations tag. It again works similar to the block quote. The difference is that if you use a block quote, it's basically provides the quotation marks within our paragraph tag. So within our paragraph tag, we write a content that is supposed to be quotation marks. So we can use simply Q tag as well. So if I write the WWF goal is, so this is a paragraph, but this is the line that we are supposed to quoting some other reference and we want to be within our content. Basically, this is what we need to do. So it's appeared as an inverted quotation marks automatically. So every content that you need in quotation marks, double like these double quotation marks, we just write the Q tag. So the Q tag is basically used to represent these inverted quotations within our content. Okay, as simple as that. So whenever we use a block quote, basically it means it's a separate block of quote. Okay, it's a separate block of quote. It has indentation, it has a space before and after. If you use a Q tag, basically it's just the quotation marks or double quotation marks within our single line. So within our paragraph, it becomes a nested tag. No new line, no space before. Within the same line, the quotes appears within double quotations. That's the whole difference with it. Okay, then we have something called abbreviation. Abbreviation means that wherever we want to use abbreviations, like WHO, okay, so we use this abbreviation tag, or we should, or recommendedly we should use an abbreviation tag for that, which basically means that now WHO, we provide an attribute called title and we provide the full form of it. So if I execute this code, you would see that this is our abbreviation. Now if I go here, the abbreviation basically is dotted underlined, indicating that it's a it's basically an abbreviation. And if I hover my cursor over it, the full form of that content is basically displayed as a tooltip. So that's the key difference here. So any content that you want to appear as a, for example, as an underline with a abbreviation with it, we use the abbreviation tag, we use the title, and we use the abbreviation within it, and then close the abbreviation with that. That's simply how it goes. So for example, sometimes we want to use definitions with it. So search engines, for example, I can make this if I want to use this. So I would just say, hey, listen, make this abbreviation, and then close the abbreviation tag, and then within the search engines again I will say backslash abbreviation tag. So this basically means that my abbreviation is, or search engine becomes abbreviation. So it doesn't really need to be uh, the pure abbreviation, right? I can have a text abbreviation to it, and then I can say, hey, listen, I need to use something called title as an attribute is equals to, and I can say, for example, www.google.com. This basically means that whenever I execute this code, now search engine has a dotted underline. If I hover my cursor, it double Google it. So we can use a definition, we can use additional information, or we can have, if you're writing an article, it can have an extra meanings to it. Anything can be there which you want, which you basically, in other words, don't want directly to be on the web page, but as an additional tooltip, you can use that abbreviation tag for it. So this is a very cool way of writing our content. So abbreviation ABR tag basically allows us to do that. Moving further, then we have something called address tag, which for me is completely useless. I very rarely use it, but it's there. What address does is that if wherever you are using an address, we use this address tag, and we provide our addresses within the system. Okay, the only difference is that it will appear as italic. That's the whole key with it. You do need to provide BR tags after every line because it won't break the line. So if I remove the BR tag, and if I remove the BR tag here and run the code again, the content appears on the same line. So it's just the same as paragraph tag. The only difference is that now it will show the content in our italicized. So the alternate way of doing that is that I can create a paragraph tag. Okay, and then oops, I can create a paragraph tag. I can have a backslash p here. So this becomes my paragraph. I can easily copy this content, paste it here, and run it. Okay, so you would now see that this is italic and this is just normal. So that's the whole key difference with it. And we know to resolve this, I can use the I tag or emphasis tag, and I can say backslash I. And now if I run it, basically it becomes italic. So almost no difference at all. It's the same thing, but it's there. So address tag basically means that it's address. This is similarly useful to search engines, in fact. So this address tag basically will be an information to meta as a metadata for your browsers and for your search engines, letting them know that this is an address content, okay, rather than a standard paragraph content. So if you want your address to be easily searchable and browser oriented, and your documents to be searchable, we basically specify address tag, and the browsers know, oh, here's the address maybe, so they will consider this as an address, or the search engines can easily find it. Otherwise you can put this in paragraph tag as well, no problem with that. Then site tag, this is again quite useful if you are using blogs and you want to write a content, and when you are citing other resources, other references, other information, then site is something quite useful. So if I hit try it out again, what site basically means that I have an image, I've put an image in this tag. We will talk about images later on, how we insert images in our HTML page, and what exactly these tags and these attributes basically mean. But within our paragraph tag, we basically provide a site. So this basically means the word the screen is italicized and indicating that this has a site information within it. So again, just an italic tag with a site attribute. um, just for your reference sake, same thing we can do with our simple italic or emphasis as well. So if I use this here again, and instead of site, if I use, for example, I tag, and then come back here and delete this and remove I, hit execute, you will find that the both are exactly same. But cite basically tells our browsers and search engines that you have done the citation, something of that sort. Okay. Most commonly I would just use I if I need to use the italic. That's it. That basically goes. But it's there, the tag is there, it uses the site. So you can use the site as a third alternative to italic as well. But more technically, it means that it tells the browsers that, hey, this work is being cited by a particular book or some information, and this becomes a part of metadata as well. Okay, finally, within this quotation tags, we have something called BDO, which is bi-directional override. It basically means that if you want the text to appear from right to left directions, So if I execute it, by default it's all normal, but if you write the text in under BDO, so for example this line will be written from right to left, so it's written from right to left. Okay, bi-directional text. Now the contents orientation is changed. So technically absolutely no use, right? But this is more useful if you are writing scripts in Arabic or Persian or certain other languages that is not English and that uses right to left. Then this video will actually make more sense and ensure that the text is rendered properly on browsers from right to left direction. So do keep this thing in mind if you are using scripts that do start from right to left, like Arabic, Persian, or any other scripts for that matter that uses right to left strings. Then this video would be properly rendering your content on your browsers. The text will be more appropriately shown on the browsers. Okay, so this is what we bi-directional content use for. So I hope you understand that. Let's moving on further. Let me talk about content comments as well. So this is something of extreme use. If you are a programmer, comments is your basically next best friend, because it allows you to comment not only the instructions or additional information but the actual code as well. The way we do it in our HTML is we use this angle bracket, exclamation mark, minus minus, write your comments here, and then we close it with minus minus and angle bracket. Okay, so it has a completely different tag structure. The reason because is that the browsers will completely ignore this. That's why it doesn't follow the tags. Every tag browser read as a valid HTML tag, but this tag is unique in a way that browsers will completely ignore it. Okay, so whenever we need to write comments within our HTML, basically we write something of this sort. Now, if I execute it, see this, only that content within the paragraph appears. Every other tag, every other statement that you write here will basically be ignored completely by the browser. Why this is so useful? So for example, if I'm coming here and I don't want to show all of this and I'm just doing programming, I can very easily use this exclamation minus minus, come back here, and I can say minus minus bracket, so that now if I execute it, see, nothing appears because everything within this document is comment, even your original tags as well. So as a programmer, we write a code and we just sometimes hide a certain code to test the other code. This becomes extremely useful in working. Plus writing the comments as well. So I can easily write a comment here which I want as a developer for myself. So this is a comment for my future reference. Okay, so I don't want this to be rendered. I just want to inform this thing. If I run it again, nothing is displayed because this is comment. Because of this comment tag, the browser completely ignores it. It doesn't reads it, it doesn't executes it. So even if you have tags inside this thing, it will also be completely ignored. It will not be read by the browser and browser will not display it. So many times we come across the situations where we are writing a code, we don't like it, we want to change it, we just come say, we say, hey, I don't want this image to be here, but for reference I don't want to delete this thing as well. So I can very easily come here and I can say, okay, just hide the image for now. So the image is completely gone. I said, okay, maybe I don't like this line here as well. So I can come here and I can say, okay, this line also I don't want it. So I can write brackets, exclamation mark, minus minus, start the comment, minus minus bracket. So even this second line is basically now ignored. We only get one line. So all the codes that's beside within this exclamation mark and the comments marks is completely ignored. So this becomes very useful. At the same time, you can write a comment for your system as well, letting it know what exactly you are doing or what's the purpose of a tag is. It's what we call the documenting your code, which is absolutely important in a large corporations, in large software houses, and as a professional developer. It's always recommended that we comment and we leave some comments in there for our code, because when we start building a website, the code becomes in hundreds and thousands of lines, and it doesn't really make sense what's happening at the what point. So leaving a comment basically allows us to understand the purpose, the functionality of each different section, what they are supposed to do. So using these comments basically allows us to hide the tags, it allows us to work with the tags, it is allows us to completely remove or some part, but keeping the code in the system so that later on maybe we want to use it, we can use it. That's the whole gist behind the comment. You can write the comments within the line as well. So if it is this is great text paragraph, but I just can comment this out and just see what's the output of this one. So if I execute this code, you see this is a paragraph. This line, because this is a comment, as I said, browsers will completely ignore it and it's all done, it's all finished, right? So this is comments. This is how we use comments in HTML. We will be using this later on in extensively throughout our coding and other examples as well. Okay, so I hope you understand these two concepts up to this point. Next, we need to discuss colors and CSS. This is where fun begins. So for up till next video, thank you, see you around.